two oil tankers collided, spilling crude oil into the water.
We're cleaning up the million-some-odd barrels of crude washing up.
Name? Charlie Walker.
Hi, I'm Sophia Jessica, and this is Angel, and welcome to the Fan Carpet.
Good morning, Marc.
Good morning, Carl. It is such an absolute pleasure to speak to you. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. Thank you very much, sir.
Excellent. All right. So I know this is a big question, but if we go back to the beginning, was there a defining moment for you to get into the entertainment industry?
It was a defining moment, but it was accidental. I was doing an article about an improvisational comedy theater that had lost their cast to Los Angeles. And I ended up on the wrong side of the room. I was given an audition card. I thought that would be a great perspective from which to write the article. You know, trying to get into the company, failed, but there to watch those triumphant. And after about a month-long process, it was winnowed down from about 300 people to about 5 people. And I was one of the 5, and I explained to them I was not an actor. And because of the nature of the theater, it was an improvisational comedy and it was satire. So a lot of it was kind of like writing on your feet. And because I was a writer, I guess I had certain skills. I love words, I love reading, I love stories, I loved people. But I did not see that as a career path. And I ended up getting cast. I decided to do it as a bit of a fling, maybe to add it to the bag of experiences that I would, collect as I went on to settle down as a teacher or write biological textbooks. I had all sorts of ideas about what I would be. Actor wasn't one of them, but actor is what it turned out to be.
Awesome. And we're so glad it did because, you voiced a lot of my childhood. I used to watch Justice League a lot, Static Shock. So yeah, you've always been up there, mate. So I'm Charlie Walker is a very powerful and poignant story. What can you tell us about it?
1971. There was a tremendous oil spill in San Francisco under the Golden Gate Bridge. 2 standard oil tankers crashed into one another and released, I think it was about 750 or 800,000 gallons of oil into the bay. And this oil, of course, as oil does, splashed up on the beaches, fouled them, and was a massive hazard in every way, health hazard, aesthetically. And so there was a massive cleanup that came up. And in San Francisco at that time, 71, there were white truckers and black truckers. And the truckers were essential for hauling and cleaning up the sand. And Charlie Walker was a black man who was not allowed into the process and decided to make his way into the process in the singular way in which he operated, which was just straightforward, no holds barred. He was playing a dirty game, and sometimes to play a dirty game, you have to be a dirty player. But his heart was in the right place. He was righteous about the fact that what was taking place was unfair. People across the board, Black people, were being kept out of all sorts of activities, and he wanted to be in. And so that's what he did. Sometimes when you're in a position like that, I think you can't always bring a lot of people with you. And it's not for the faint of heart. So there were some who fell away, and some who stayed with him, but he never gave up his charge. And he passed a couple of years ago, and was really, really celebrated in San Francisco for being a true hero. And sometimes not everything a hero does is heroic, but the cause was worth it. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, and with someone like that, with there being loads of shades, with there being shades of grey in him, do you feel a sense of responsibility when playing someone that was real, as opposed to fictional characters?
Well, because I did not play Charlie,
Hmm.
I just want to make that clear.
Yeah, yeah,
But I do. I think that um, people start out as real, so in characterizing them, you shouldn't make them any less real than they are. The facts lead you to the characterization, and being true to those facts is vital. Everyone has a reason for what they do. Not everyone's reason is perceived, and not every outcome suits the intention.
mm,
Uh, but I believe the intention is key. So for characters that I play, they don't have to be perfect, but they have to believe in themselves, and they have to believe in something. They might be wrong, they might be misguided, but if that belief is there, that's how I think people operate, and so that's what I enjoy playing. In this particular film, I played um, a character named Willie, um, and I suppose objectively a small character, but thought he was I thought he was key because he made a point very clear. He was not he represented a number of Black men in particular at that time who had been beaten down, who had been left out, frozen out, and they were happy to get crumbs. They were happy to get anything. And they were also very, very afraid of upsetting the apple cart and bringing down the kind of retribution that for decades and decades and decades and decades they had been aware of. It had savaged their fathers and their grandfathers. It had savaged communities. And quite frankly, people were afraid to sometimes stick up their head. Willie was one of those people. And so looking at someone like Charlie Walker made him proud, made him, it gave him a degree of courage, but only if he was standing right behind Charlie, because he did not understand how a Black man could be this forward, could be how it could be possible that a Black man could demand something. And I think in Willie's case, he just wasn't contributing to Charlie's cause in the way Charlie needed. So unfortunately, he couldn't be carried forward. And I think he represented to me a dilemma, because there is a virtue in remaining safe. But sometimes safety is not all it's cracked up to be. Safety is an illusion. And I think someone like Charlie Walker pierces that illusion and says safety is not what we're looking for. Equality is what we're looking for. Agency is what we all have, no matter who told us we didn't. So move forward. Something like that was scary for Willie, even though he really, looking at Charlie, it's kind of like something unattainable that is happening, something that people say is impossible, but if it were possible, what would it look like? That's Charlie Walker.
Awesome. On that note, because obviously, like this film is set in a period where it was like very racially motivated. So, what does it mean for you to be a storyteller and tell stories in this way?
I think someone said that history is not the past. History is the present, because we're all formed by the assumptions that we've experienced. And that history is what brings us to those assumptions, that brings us to those conclusions about life. And so I don't think storytelling is frivolous. I think that within stories, within descriptions of how people make their way, there are not only lessons, but there's beauty, and I think that's art. I think if in my view, stories exist to remind us what it's like to be human in all aspects of that. The From the heights of nobility to the depths of depravity, it's all human. And it's important to know that that is the range. So I think there are no stories you should shy away from. And a story like I'm Charlie Walker is not standard fare for everyone in Hollywood. And the story itself may not look at face value like it's going to generate a terrific box office. But, you know, I don't think the desire to make a film or the need to make a film or to write a novel or to do a painting is about your assumption about who will see it, how many will see it, and how they will react. It's a need to express, and to do that is a privilege, and sometimes frustrating, and sometimes rewarding, but always vital.
Absolutely. And yeah, the story, especially a story like this, just needs to be told. So do you have any memories from making I'm Charlie Walker that you'll remember for the rest of your career?
Yes, and I'll say this. What I remember about it is I've had a career where I've been fortunate enough to work in Los Angeles and on many big projects. And big projects are great because you get all the resources are there, and all the people are there, and all of the toys are there. You can conceive it, and there are people there to help make it happen. When you do a film where resources are limited, not unlike when you live a life where resources are limited, you have to be more inventive. You have to be more resourceful yourself to make up for the resources you may or may not have. And what I remember about this film, and what I remember and honor about Patrick, our director, was he made use of a limited set of resources. And the major resource he had, though it wasn't in money, it was in people, and it was in his ability to inspire people to see this story and to want an audience to experience this story. So it was a large part of why I wanted to be a part of it, even in, you know, everyone loves being the hero. Everyone loves being the center of attention. But I think what's vital in our work is that no matter where you are, your contribution is irreplaceable. And that's what I love about this work. So I think with very little, he accomplished a massive amount. And then, of course, with Mike Colter playing the character in the way he did, so beautifully, forcefully, and also carrying that sense of someone who contains some of the best and the worst instincts of humans. That's what Mike did. That's what I loved. That's what I love being a part of. And I actually think it's one of those projects that I'll remember because there was so much more value in it than money could buy.
Absolutely. And you often find that with independent cinema, though, where what they lack in money, they make up for in talent and everything else. That's awesome. So what are you hoping audiences will take away from I'm Charlie Walker when they see it?
I think what I'm hoping audiences will take away is the understanding that men and women like Charlie Walker are not limited by any of the labels that we currently use. It doesn't have to do with where he came from. It has to do with his desire to contribute to the community. And very often we think of our communities as parsed: Black people, white people, Indians, Native Americans, Asians. There's one community, a world community. I'm not breaking it into countries. I'm not breaking it into races. There's a world community. And so I want audiences to know that contributions have been made to this world community by people across the board, whether you've heard of them or not. And if you haven't heard of them, you should.
Absolutely. And just finally, before I let you go, where can we find you online to keep up with everything you're doing?
My online presence. This is an excellent question. I have one. I know that I'm on, I have a Facebook page and I have a presence on Instagram. There's a wonderful, wonderful professional who handles that. I am, I think I am not techno illiterate, but techno averse. So
fair enough. All right. Well, I could talk to you all day. This has been incredible to speak to you. I look forward to everything you do next, and I'm certainly looking forward to Captain America in February.
Oh yes, as am I. As am I.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. Please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram for more content. Bye for now.
You're the one person I do trust, Charlie Walker.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. Well, that doesn't surprise me. Now I see the resemblance.
What you can do. I hear a siren. Maybe you were wrong about me. I'm dangerous and still. Why don't you give me a sign, like the sea that leaves a trail along that shore? It's not your problem, it's mine. Everybody thinks that I'm okay. Sometimes I think I am too. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm waiting for the shockwaves to begin. Oh, won't you let me hold you for one time? Just a rainy day in a London cafe, a London cafe. So give me one last serenade. Say to me or swear at me till the night turns into day. And it was a shame when daylight faded, because we didn't notice at all.
thank you for watching The Fan Carpet. If you like this video, be sure to click that thumbs up button at the bottom of your screen. And also be sure to subscribe to the Fan Carpet YouTube channels. They're absolutely free and so much fun too. Be sure to check out the official website, thefancarpet.com. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay up to date with reviews, competitions, the latest news, and so much more.